Jobkeeper 2.0. We're here, we're ready. We're mostly ready. So what we're going to be doing is, this video is for people who are going to be eligible for Jobkeeper 2.0 or potentially 3.0, and they have an eligible business participant. Now, this is really what we're focusing on, how you know whether you're going to be a tier 1 or a tier 2 eligible business participant, and what that means and what you have to do. So, in Jobkeeper 1, an eligible business participant got $1,500 a fortnight, same as employees, regardless of how many hours you worked in the business. What's different in 2.0 and 3.0 is the ATO now want to be really, well, that's unfair. It's not the ATO, it's the federal government. They want to be paying people in respect of how many hours they were doing before the pandemic hit. So for eligible business participants, what that means, you aren't taking a salary or wage from the business, you've just been taking it out through other ways. So it doesn't matter what structure you're in, what the ATO wants you to do is to work out during this test period whether or not you were working 80 hours or more in that time. Now, there's a lot of wording around all of this, but that's basically what it comes down to. If you're not on payroll and you are nominated as an eligible business participant for Jobkeeper, going forward for 2.0, 3.0, you need to look at one period, February. 1st of February to the 28th of February. Be very careful about that. What they've picked is a 4-week period, right? That's meant to be representative of your working within the business this period. You do not have an alternative period to look at unless you've been sick or on leave. There's a little bit of carve out there, but generally that's it. Okay, this is different to the employees test. Depending on how many hours you worked in that 4-week period will dictate how much you get paid for Jobkeeper. Okay, so if you're a tier 1, what that means is you worked 80 hours or more during that 4-week period. If you if you work less or even 0 hours, then you're a tier 2. Nothing you can really do about that. But what's really critical about this is, while they've been saying that this needs to be determined by looking at this reference period, there are actual requirements that you need to meet. Now, if you're working in any structure other than a sole trader, so if it's a trust, company, partnership, and you're the eligible business participant, you have to sign a declaration as to how many hours and which tier you're going to be, and provide that to the entity. If you're a sole trader, you don't provide it to anyone except for the ATO, so that's important. Now, tax isn't like criminal law. Tax law, criminal law, obviously quite different by the names, but what's really different is the concept of the burden of proof, right? Criminal law, innocent until proven guilty. It is not that way in tax law, okay? So you need to have it in your mind that you are tier 2 unless you have the documentation to prove that you're tier 1. So unless you're happy getting the lower rate of pay, okay, you need to actually document how many hours you did in February 2020 to ensure that if the ATO comes knocking, you can prove that you are a tier 1, okay? They don't have to prove that you didn't do it. You have to prove that you did. So what does that mean in practice, okay? Now, a lot of people will just do the declaration and just think that that's fine, okay? For our clients, we love you. We're going to be giving you a timesheet. We highly recommend that you go and fill this out, okay? If it's hard to remember what you were doing back in February 2020, it's not going to be easier in 3 years' time, okay? But doing this now means that if there's an audit, we will 110% stand behind you and back you with the ATO. But if you have no documentation, then on what basis can you sign any declaration, right? Jobkeeper 1, the ATO was really, really lenient, and they have a very practical approach to this, right? This time around, you need to get your shit together. So, what you need to do is do a timesheet. If you've never done a timesheet, we're going to go through that in a separate video, but basically you are going to document the hell out of what you did in February, okay? So we're going to do that in a separate video